So how nice of a watch can you get for under $100? You know, my mind kind of goes to Casio, some of the really cool G-Shocks and digital watches, great beater watches. But can you find a nice mechanical at under $100? And the answer, at least for me, is absolutely. I've got a couple Russian-made mechanical watches here from the brand Vostok that I'd like to share with you today. This one here on the right, this is my watch. This is the Commandersky. This is a field or a military style watch that has a rotating dive bezel. And then the one here on the left, this was lent to me by my good buddy, Random Rob. He just purchased this from a mutual friend of ours. And it's their dive watch. This is the Amphibia. And so I thought it'd be fun to just kind of show these two Vostoks side by side and talk about some of the things that I really enjoy about them. So the big thing is going to be the price. My Commandersky can be had for $50 or less. And the Amphibia, I think this one is like $80 or less. I mean, it just depends on your case shape and your dial and all that stuff. But they're mechanical watches that are tough as nails. I mean, these things make great beater watches. The movement that's in my Commandersky is a hand winding movement only. It's not an automatic. And no matter what I do to this thing, it just keeps going and going and going. It's very, very good. The one here in the Amphibia is a little bit nicer. This has an automatic rotor as well. And I have to say that the Amphibia's winding action is a lot nicer than the winding action that's on my mechanical Commandersky. But yeah, for under $100, you can get some pretty cool watches. Now, do they have flaws? Oh yeah, you bet. These are inexpensive watches, so you're not going to expect, you know, luxury details and things at under $100. But for what you do get, it's pretty amazing. So what do I not like about these watches? Well, I guess really the big one is the factory bracelets and strap options. They're very poorly made, you know, folded end links, very rattly. I don't think they're worth even trying. I put this one on a Phenomenato. I thought that the Admiral gray color kind of worked with the warm silver sunburst tone of that dial. And I just really liked that. And then my Commandersky I put on a Bond NATO, and I think it looks pretty good. So anyways, let's look at some of the details that I really enjoy. Let's look at the dials. These dials are very well made, again, for the price. And if you go on a macro level, you can see some fun details. So my Commandersky kind of reminds me of like wood cork, with the slight texture that it has to it and the slightly metallic silver paint on those Arabic markers. I think it's really well executed. And again, that silver sunburst that's on the Amphibia is gorgeous. I mean, look how deep that grain is. That's pretty impressive. I also really like the 12 o'clock marker. Notice how it's a reverse of the hour hand. So when they point to each other, that's just a tiny detail that I think is pretty cool. So anyways, when you look at these watches, I mean, they're totally original, and that's another thing I really like. They're not an homage to any watch that I know of. I mean, they might have elements like Arabic markers or a pointer hour hand, but just the way they're executed, they're very unique. I mean, check out these angular lines on this diver with the chunky teeth on this steel bezel. If we look at my Commandersky, it's a lot more how would you say, just rounded. I mean, check out these divots in the bezel and these really interesting flaring lugs. Really cool. And I like the all polished finish too. It just catches the light real well. And you know what? It's a nice difference from wearing a Seiko or wearing a Tudor or an Omega. It's just they've got a character of their own, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Now, is the accuracy going to be incredible? No, I mean, you're going to expect like Seiko 5 accuracy because these are largely unregulated watches, but they're made very well. And the thing is, you can totally abuse these things and they just keep going, which I find to be pretty impressive. If we have a loom shot here, the loom is, it's not that great, but there's kind of a satisfying element to it. I don't know. It's kind of hard to describe. You got to check these out and in hand to really see where the enjoyment comes from. Because if you look at the specs, and maybe even here on the video, you might be saying, Bruce, you're kind of crazy. Why do you like these watches so much? They're not that great. I tell you what, guys, You got to see one in person, and then you go, hey, this is only $80. This is only $50. Dude, I want one. These are actually really cool. And so anyways, those are kind of my thoughts on Vostok. They make really good beaters, really good affordable watches, and I enjoy the brand. I think it's well worth the minimal investment. You get a higher level of return of enjoyment while wearing these watches. So anyways, guys, those are some of my thoughts on the watch. Both watches. Please let me know if you have any questions. Reach out to me. Check out Random Rob's channel if you haven't already. I'll put a link in the description. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Cheers.